Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's read. I'm in the middle, yeah. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. For the tarot portion, I'm using the Star Tarot. It's the second edition on there by Kathy McLeland. There's the whole front of the box. There's a website for Kathy at the top here. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out, kathymcleland.com. Supportive Oracle cards. Wisdom of the Hidden Realms Oracle cards by Colette Baron Reed. Is that what's... There's websites at the bottom. I want to say that she has her own website. I'll look real fast. I want to say it's on the back here. Yep. There we go. There's a picture of Colette. And at the bottom of that paragraph next to her picture is her website. There's a couple other ones below that. So feel free to check out whatever you would like. And for the last part, I do use dice. I use, I think this is 21-sided. 21-sided, and it does omit 0, so it doesn't do the Fool, but close enough. I'll make it work. I use the 4-sided dice for the element, and then I use this 14-sided dice for the minor arcana. I want to say that the 14-sided dice came from here, mathartfun.com. Feel free to check that out if you're interested. And then the bigger one came from Tom Anders, which I know there's a website on here, I just don't see it. Impact Miniatures, I think. Hopefully that focuses so you can see it if you're interested. On the back here is that thing. So if you want to use that thing, go ahead and use that thing. Alright, so with that being said, if you want a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the current pricing also, my Instagram is below if you want to go on there. So I'm just on here in Instagram. And without further ado, let's go on to your reading. Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Capricorn? All right, let's get through the whole thing before we get too excited here. Okay, so the 8 of Cups is showing up. It's pushed out of the deck. I kept looking at it because it was just really cockeyed in there. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll get it. So I think something is out of your way, but it might be more of a temporary thing. Are we going to put down the whole deck? What's going on? I think something's getting out of your way. I feel like I'm a little suspicious of it. Kind of like, is it really though? 5 of Pentacles, which is left on the outside, and then you got this hungry ghost thing here. I feel like this is one of those things where I can't get the right information. I know that there's information flowing around this, but with that 5 of Pentacles, I feel like I just don't believe, or the information you're getting is proving to be either false or outdated or something. It's kind of like I don't trust what I'm hearing, or it's not that the person or people giving it to me are trying to give me false information, but it's kind of like I just don't think they know what's going on. I feel like it's more that. Kind of like they got outdated information, they don't realize it's outdated, and I'm kind of like, I'm just aware of it. So I've been wanting better information for a while. The places where I've been getting it, I'm like, no. And I feel like if they try to push the envelope and they try to get better information, it doesn't seem to help. And I just, it's just one of those situations where communication is happening, but it's just, I can't believe in it type thing. Like, people might think they're doing the right thing or they have the right information, but it turns out that they don't. Or at the very least, they're not getting the answers you want. So, for example, if we're talking about, like, I like to use food a lot. So, like, they may know how to make a cake, but you're, like, looking to, like, for how to make a special cake. Like, how do you make sure it's fluffy and get this certain flavor and get this certain thing in there, and how do you make sure it stacks and stays correctly without it looking wonky? And they know how to make basic cakes. But you're like, no, I need more. And they're like, well, obviously it would have to go like this, and you could still use this. I'm sure you could still use that. And it's kind of like, I don't think they know what they're talking about. And it's kind of like, if they do it, you're like, it looks kind of messed up. They're like, it's good enough. And you're like, it's not. But it's kind of like one of those things. Something is like getting out of the way, or something is changing, or when I say get out of the way, I feel like ironically somebody might be coming into the situation that's pushing the other problems out of the way. It seems a little complicated because I'm getting the moon card coming in with the star right after it. It really makes me feel like somebody's coming into the situation who they just seem to be very good with finding answers. And whatever it is, they find you answers, but you're able to verify, or they'll head you in the right direction for you to find what you actually need. They'll help you like find direction. I would say that they have good information, but it's one of those things where you kind of test the information. It's kind of like closer than normal, closer than what I've been getting. But you know what? This information has opened this door, and now I know where to look a little better. Now I'm looking over here, and like they're helping you find better direction. I don't think they have exactly the information you have, but I keep getting like they're helping you build this. They're helping you build. They're helping you find a foundation. They're kind of like, they're telling you stuff, and they're like, I know that you need certain supports. I know that much. But they would also be honest, like, it would be nice if you could still use this type of icing, but maybe you can't. Maybe because if you want to decorate on it or write on it or make certain things on it, maybe you can't use that icing. I'm not sure, but I know you have to have some type of this type of support, blah, 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 blah. And the higher you go, the more the weight there's going to be, blah, 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 blah. There's good information. Like I feel like it's something about this person coming in, getting other people out of the way. It's a little confusing. I feel like I need to have more information about that. Because okay, let's just roll the dice and find out. So, this person, by the way, whoever you normally get information from, I don't know, they might kind of be like half in, half out with that, kind of like, maybe they don't really care for these other people, or maybe they just don't really think that I don't know, there might be some type of discord there between this new person coming in and these other people. I'm not saying anybody's bad or good or whatever, but I keep getting like, this person, especially with the Six of Swords, I feel like they either avoid or just don't believe they just won't even go with there. Wherever you normally get the information, these other people, they just won't even bother with them. That might be a thing for whatever reason. You, on the other hand, they like you make sense. You build stuff that lasts the test of time. They like you because you make sense. They feel like you make sense. I just feel like there's something here with this group that this other person coming in doesn't. They feel like these other people just kind of talk to hear themselves talk. And they're, they might kind of have that opinion like, well, they're kind of right as much as a dead watch is, because even a dead watch is right two times a day, if you follow me. They're kind of like, yeah, well, if they have something of value, it's just by sheer default, because every now and then, just by the law of averages, I guess you'd have to have something right. There might be a little something there with that. I don't know. You don't need to get involved with that. I just feel like if you're aware of that, I don't know, if for some reason you might be amused with it. I don't really know. This person coming in, though, I feel like you do like them and you're totally not expecting them to show up. They just seem to show up out of nowhere. Or it could be somebody that you have known for years, but they've just never really took the time to talk to with you. It could be something like that. They're coming out of nowhere, but I don't know if they're new to you or just new to the way that they're relating to your situation. Like they're giving you information and you're like, I didn't think they knew anything about that. And they rarely talk to me like that. So that's very interesting. You seem to like it though. They're very nice to you. They're very good to you. Comes in fast though. This influence just, I feel like it comes out of left field. So either it's a totally new person or this is somebody who up until now, it's not very often that they spend the time to really talk with you. They may even usually think that you don't want to know what they're thinking, but for some reason you have this conversation and they give you a lot of value, they point you in a good direction and things go well. Capricorn likes value. When somebody honors the value that you have and has value to offer at the same time, that makes a good connection. I'm also kind of worried, like, you know, how long is this going to last? I don't know. It kind of feels like the Wheel of Fortune showing up here. Earth signs don't usually like the Wheel of Fortune, and you're an Earth sign. Virgo and Taurus are the other two. And it's kind of like, is this just kind of like, what's going on with this? Is this just like, just for a moment, and then they're going to fly away? Did they even realize what they were talking about? Like, did they just kind of like, they don't like these other people thinking they're just randomly, maybe they have good information, but it's just the law of averages. Are they the same thing? I feel like you're just trying to get to the truth of it. You got the Emperor here, kind of like, I'm just taking it objectively. Is this something I can depend on? Are they going to constantly have good information for me? Is this just a moment in time? Even if it's just a moment of time, you were able to verify it is what I'm getting. And you'll still build from it, but it's kind of like, yeah, but are they like here today, gone tomorrow? Is this just a moment? When this happens, remember it. I feel like that's easy for you. You're going to remember it anyway. Remember it going forward, but also remember this person, if they want to share information, they share information. I feel like if they approach you, there's a reason they're approaching you. If you approach them, they'll talk with you. I feel like they like you. I think that's fine. But I feel like this doesn't need to be this way. It doesn't seem like you're going to get the most bang for your buck with this person. I would just kind of like feel like it's better to have the niceties. And then when they want to talk about something or they want to give you information, like if you need to know more information about, maybe I would just keep it in the same thread. Say maybe you're starting to work on cookies and you have some questions and you're wondering how this cookie works, how that cookie works. I would like put it out there that you're working on cookies, but I wouldn't ask them directly. I would just put it out there that you're working on cookies and then see if they offer information from there. Like open the door, like this subject is what I'm working on. And don't ask directly, but give them that opening where if they want to, they can, because if they have value, if they have something to stand on, they will share it with you. I feel like this is the same type of person where if they're not really sure, they're like, I think this, I think that. If you don't ask them directly, they won't share that because they're like, I don't know if that's real. But if they're like, I've made this, I've done that, so I know this information, shortbread cookies, you got to do this, you got to do that, and you can do this with them. They'll share that because they already know that that's a value and they won't waste your time with something unless they have verified it themselves. And I don't feel like you need possibilities, you need verified information. So hopefully that makes sense. Stay in good contact with them, stay in good graces between the two of you. But when it goes a little bit more quiet, let it be quiet, but like keep like niceties going. Does that make sense? Am I making sense with that? Like, don't ask them questions directly, but keep them in the loop about what you're doing. If you want something to stay more private, I feel like you can trust this person to keep it more private. I would also put that right out there. Like I'm keeping this just to myself. Like I wouldn't tell them. I mean, it's all about how you say stuff, Like, keep this between me and you. I wouldn't say it that way. I would just say, you know what, I'm just keeping this private, so I'd ask that you just keep this, because I don't know what I'm doing with it just yet, so let's just keep this quiet. I'm not really sharing this with everybody. If you let them know that you're not sharing this information with everybody, they'll keep it quiet. There's more here. Like, I do feel like you like this person, and the longer this goes, the more connection you have, the more I feel like I like being around them. This person, okay, you like them and they like you, but I feel like they're not one to just have blind loyalty. There's somebody who constantly reviews and like almost like self audits relationships. So there's other people around. I feel like this person could be considered controversial. I don't see them. Don't get involved in their controversies. That's for sure. They could be controversial in some respect. It could be the way they live their life, and it might be kind of like to most people it's not controversial, but to some other people it is. It depends what you're doing. Like when I say controversial, I feel like it's kind of like some people are more conservative, and if you're in a liberal connection and you have a conservative, people see that as a more of a controversial thing. Vice versa, if you're dealing with somebody very liberal and you have a lot of controversial or a lot of conservative people around you, that can seem more controversial. It could be alternative lifestyle. It could be anything, but there is some type of controversy around this person. That this person, I feel like they don't feel like they fit here. So keep that in mind. You don't want to pretend like you fit with something if you don't, but I feel like you do want to kind of put it out there that, for example, if they have an alternative viewpoint or something, that if you're okay with that, make sure you're okay with that. If you're not, for whatever reason, I just wouldn't highlight it, because there's something about this where they like you, they trust you, they believe in you. It doesn't mean you have to have the same outlook on life that they do, but there's something with controversy, like we want to kind of like just let them be who they are, because nothing's changing in that respect. But something about controversy with this, I'm not really hitting it, because I feel like there is controversy. Maybe other people have an issue with them. Maybe that's another reason they stay away from other people. Keep that in mind. Is there anything else I need to say about that? I feel like we're going on a little... Yeah, they're doing better. Things are changing for them. I feel like they're going through a period where they're learning things and they're upgrading their lives and they're kind of moving forward in a certain direction. If you're able to support that, I would support that, is what I'm getting. If you're able to, that will pay you back. That will pay you back in spades. What does that mean? What does that even mean? That will pay. It will pay back well. When I said spades, is that good? I feel like it will pay you back well. I don't know if when I said spades, if that's a good way to say that. All right. I almost feel like that means, I don't know what that term means, so I'm like, all right, I'm letting it go. Your outcome. What's your outcome? If that doesn't go off. Okay, so this person is very independent. They're very independent. I'm also getting that you might not hear from them all the time going forward, but as long as the last connection is good, you're still in a positive connection with them in their mind. There's a lot of diversity in the world, and I keep feeling like neurodivergent type things going on here. Just because they're not talking to you, you could go months without talking to this person. As long as there's no problem, they still like you. It might be just the way their mind works that they don't keep in contact very well. But when they do see you, they like you. Keep that in mind, because I get like, you would like this person more connected, but I feel like they're not connected as much as you would like them. It might just be who they are. Keep that in mind too going forward, because I feel like that might make you a little uncomfortable. Kind of like, I rarely hear from them. Like 3 or 4 months, maybe even longer, could go along, and I don't hear anything from them. Then all of a sudden, we're at the same event and they're talking to me and they're like, we're best buds, because to them it's not. There's no problem. They just might be one of those people who don't communicate very well or very often, or they're very, maybe on the recluse. I want to say recluse. The point is, if you don't talk to this person for a while, you're still in good graces with them. They just may not be the type of person who reaches out very often. They might not communicate very well. Just keep that in mind. Like when I say they don't communicate very well, like reaching out and talking to other people, that doesn't happen very naturally for them. It's something they have to put effort behind. I feel like this is maybe somebody who like spends a lot of time by themselves and has no problem doing that. They might also stay out of a lot of problems that way, but they don't know what's going on. They don't have to worry about it. It's one of those things. is everything in order? Yeah, everything's in order. Things are fine. I feel like they're just giving you that heads up, just in case that makes you a little uncomfortable. Like, why don't they talk to me? Why don't they reach out? Why don't we talk to each other more? It just might be who they are. It may be more of a neurodivergent thing. Keep that in mind. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. Hopefully that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, james@astral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.